Hey guys, it's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense, with a late night live for my fellow entrepreneurial women out there looking to get clear about moving forward in your life and in your business with strategy and intention. So I always talk about money marketing and sales, but I always try to throw in a little bit of motivation and direction as well, because at the end of the day, if you're not self-motivated to move forward, you're going to find yourself stuck a lot of times. So actually this morning, I jumped on and I did a live stream and I said, listen, if you are overspending in your business and your business, you feel like you're underperforming, you're not getting paid, you're ready to get paid, let's talk about what you're focusing on, what you're fixated on, and how you can fix your fixations, right? So that's what we talked about today. And I said, you know what, when I get some time, I'm going to jump back on and continue this conversation around your focus, moving forward, and identifying things that you're fixated on that might challenge you in some way, shape, or form. So number one, if you feel like this conversation is something that somebody in your circle needs to hear, feel free to tag them here and share. Because tonight what we're going to do is we're going to talk about pretty ugly perfections. We're going to talk about fixating on things. We're going to talk about your focus. And I guess this is going to be like a real talk, late night kind of a conversation. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, for the hearts and the love. And I just kind of want to keep it real. Today's been an interesting day. I've seen and I've talked to and heard a lot of entrepreneurial women in my circle say things that are really, they shook me. I can relate to these things. I mean, one of the ladies in my circle, Dr. Venus, she had a post about hair. And, you know, one of the first things I saw in her post, and she said, I never considered myself to be pretty. And I had a conversation with one of my clients, and she said, you know what, LaShanda, I was annoyed. I was angry. I was devastated. I didn't even talk to anybody. That's why I haven't even talked to you. I was talking to this one coach, this one person who told me that I shouldn't tell people that I was going through this. I shouldn't tell people that, or I shouldn't even do my business. And LaShanda, she just broke me down to the point where I took up down my site. I just stopped everything. Right? You know, you've got these unqualified people who are telling you that you're unqualified. How disruptive is that? How unnerving is that? How frustrating is it when you're in a place where you don't feel qualified, when you don't feel pretty, where you don't feel focused, where you don't feel like you're making the kind of funds that you want to make? How frustrating is it to be in that place? Who can identify with either feeling like your site is not pretty enough, that you're not pretty enough, your stuff is not perfect enough? Who can identify with that? It's funny because as I said to myself, okay, well, what top am I going to put on for my little late night live with you guys? And I found this one, and it's funny because when I put it on, I remembered a photo of my mom, her high school graduation photo back in the day, you know, 70s photo. She's got a big old, well, no. I think it's like a 60s photo. It's like a mid 60s photo. She's got her big old afro, and my mom is really petite and tiny. She's got like tiny feet, and, you know, and she's got a shirt on that looks just like this. I thought she looks so pretty. I always thought my mother was so pretty, and people would say to me, oh my gosh, is that your mother or your sister? And I would be so angry because I'm like, I'm young. I want you to think I'm pretty. I want you to think I look good. I never felt pretty. I always felt fat and dark, and my mother's lighter skinned than I am, and she's smaller than I am, and I was big and didn't feel pretty at all. I looked at my mom and I'm like, you're the prettiest person in the whole wide world. Who sometimes feels unpretty? Whether you were that little girl who looked up to your mom and you're like, my mom is so beautiful, why can't I be that kind of woman, right? Or you look up to other people and you're like, their site is so beautiful, their business is so beautiful, this person is so beautiful. I wish that was me. Who struggles with feelings of not feeling pretty or not feeling perfect? Your business isn't perfect, your life isn't perfect. Who struggles with the pretty, ugly perfections? I want to talk about fixing your fixations, because at the end of the day, hey, good evening to you. At the end of the day, we have to be in a space where if we want to move forward, we have to do a couple of things. We have to tackle the things we're fixated on. So if you're fixated on not moving forward in your business because somebody said something to you or something in your life triggered you, when was that, right? Think about that. You know, did that happen to you? Maybe those fixations are causing you to not move forward. If you're fixated on something that happened, that either that person took something from you, stole something from you, told you you shouldn't do what you want to do, and you paused in that moment, right? What was that feeling? If you're fixated on you feeling that you were unloved or not as pretty as ... people, what were those times for you? Because sometimes, to be honest with you, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, when it comes to moving forward, we're stuck because we're fixated on the wrong things. We're fixated on the wrong things sometimes, right? And I know for myself, sometimes I don't feel the prettiest. And there are images where I'm just like, don't look at me from that side. Don't look at me from that angle. But we've got to be able to move past that. We've got to be able to identify those things, those people, those moments that we fixate on for the wrong reasons that we have to let go of. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I watched Little yesterday. It was absolutely hilarious. Loved it to death. But one of the messages that came out of that experience is not quite being the person you want to be, closing yourself off to other people and to your true self because your inner child was damaged. Your inner child was triggered. Your inner child was hurt. And because of those experiences you had when you were younger, you become this totally different person that's shut off and closed off and not in a space where you feel like you can be as free as you would like to be because that child was hurt. That child didn't feel pretty. That child felt rejected and unloved. So there's a couple of things that I want to do today. Number one, I want to read you a poem by a poet by the name, I believe, of Abdul. It's called Pretty Ugly. Has anybody ever read this poem before? Number one, I wanted to talk to you about Pretty Ugly Perfections, but I really want to read the Pretty Ugly poem to you guys. Has anybody ever read this poem before? Okay. So Abdullah is the name of the poet that wrote this poem. So, and this is a hard read. I mean, for me, this really hits home. I'm very ugly. So don't try to convince me that I'm a very beautiful person, because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am worthless, terrible person, and nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love. Because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved. I am in no position to believe that. Beauty does not exist within me because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I as ugly as people say? This poem is called Pretty Ugly. Now you read it all the way down, and then it says, now read bottom up. I want you to hear this poem, the same poem that I just read to you. I'm going to read it from the bottom up. Am I as ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think beauty does exist within me, and I am in no position to believe that. I am not good enough to be loved because no matter what, I still deserve love. And nothing you say will make me believe that I am a worthless, terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself that there is beauty inside of me that matters. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I am a very beautiful person. So don't try to convince me that I am very ugly. That's the same poem. Y'all, you need to go and get this poem. You need to go search for it. Pretty Ugly. The poet's name is Abdullah. I was introduced to this poem, I want to say maybe about a year and a half ago. And it rocked my world. True genius, because we all feel this way. We all feel this way. And the reality is, and I said this to a few clients today, I did my clarity calls today, and I said, listen, it's not about what you see. It's about how you see it. And you can take that same poem and you can see it one way looking down. But when you read that bad boy back up, it's a whole other story. You are not pretty ugly. You are pretty amazing. And we need to be in a space where we stop looking through a lens that causes us to skew our perception of ourselves, that causes us to skew our ability to move forward, because we're so fixated on the wrong fixations of how come we don't look like this person and our business isn't like that person. When if you just change your perspective, change your lenses on that visibility, you'll see a whole other world. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but looking at things from a different perspective, seeing things in a different way. Those are some powerful messages that you find inside of the little movie. And it was just absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I laughed a lot. You know, it hit home. I had some moments. I had some moments, but it was definitely an amazing thing to watch. So watch Little, number one. Number two, you got to go to Google and download the Pretty Ugly poem. Read it, you know, by the poet Abdullah, when you need to really reflect on who you are and what it is you're trying to do. If you find that one of the things that you tend to fixate on is you not being the kind of person you think you should be in order to be where you need to be. And I'm going to be here to tell you that you are exactly who you need to be. You have everything that you need to succeed. It's just about your perspective of how you're looking at yourself and looking at what you know and looking at what you do. Let me tell you, I don't want you to give other people power over you. I don't want you to give other people permission, unqualified people permission to judge your qualifications. One of my favorite sayings is never let somebody who has never gone and done the things that you are setting out to do, never give those people the power to discourage you. You got folks in your life that ain't never done what you trying to do, but you go to them for recognition. You go to them for answers. You seek them for the kind of confirmation that you need, when in actuality, you have everything that you need to succeed. So let me pause for a second, because come here, mama. I should have done this 2 seconds ago. Come here. No. Come here. So Pretty Man has a water bottle, if you can see the water bottle that just came out of her mouth that she is crunching on. I don't know how much of it is making noise in the background, but no, mama, not right now. Not right now. No. No. Messy face. No. So I want to share two more things with you, but that Pretty Ugly poem was definitely a big one that I wanted to share with you. Number one. Number two, again, it's so interesting about divine rhyme timing, because as I shared this with you, I have to think about the little girl in me who looked at pictures of my mama in something that looked very much like this and thought, oh my God, she's so pretty. I'm never going to look like this woman. I'm not as beautiful as her. And people tell me that I'm not as beautiful as her. But it's about perspective, right? It's about perspective. This is my new Good Morning Girl Boss journal that you can get over at sistersense.com/GMGB, which stands for Good Morning Girl Boss. Today is the 24th. And so in addition to the Pretty Ugly poem that I just read to you, I'm going to read to you the day 24 message. And I can't tell you how perfect life is, because before I got to this book page in the book, I said that today I was going to talk about pretty ugly perfection. And I got to this page, and this is what the page said. Don't look to be perfect, boss. You can't tell me they ain't God. You can't tell me they ain't a God and they ain't something called divine right timing. I said, today I'm going to talk about pretty ugly perfection. And the first thing that I said was, I'm going to give you guys the message of today from Good Morning Girl Boss. And the message of today is pretty ugly is perfectionism. This is the Good Morning Girl Boss journal. You can order the print version over at sistersense.com/GMGB. Come here. Hold on a second. Come here. Jump up. Come on. You can do. There we go. Well, she found another water bottle. So I drink a lot of water throughout the day. And she is literally finding every single freaking water bottle right now. She wants to get my attention. Don't you touch that water. You better bring it to me. Go get the water bottle. Because I have this one. She found another one. So, okay, I'm going to read the message for today. Don't look to be perfect, boss. Embrace all that is perfectly imperfect about you. Conformity is overrated. This cannot be overstated. You have vastly underestimated your gifts if you think you need to become anything beyond the truest version of you. Never forget, No one else is you, and that is your superpower number one. What is number two? That's one of my favorite quotes. Nobody else is you. That is your superpower. That's your superpower number one. Nobody else is you. You have vastly underestimated yourself if you think you need to be anything other than who you are right now. That's your superpower number one, your uniqueness. What's your superpower number two? Feel free to drop into the comment box a superpower that you have that you're like, listen, nobody can do it like I do it. One of my favorite superpowers personally is I love to quickly create quality content. One of my other superpowers is at the end of the day, I love to just break things down in a very clear and intentional way. Those are some of my superpowers. What are yours? For those of you who are watching me, feel free to drop into the comment box some of your personal superpowers. That's the Good Morning Girl Boss message for today. Okay, we're talking about things that you need to do to fix your funds and fix your fixations too. If you are fixated on the wrong things, it's going to forever be difficult for you to do the right things. And I am in the process of launching what I call my Forward Focus 5-day productivity programs. For 5 days, you're going to give me 5 hours and 5 hours, 1 hour a day, and then 5-minute intervals, 5 minutes a day, so that we can work on your productivity, your focus, and you moving forward, especially for those of you who say, listen, I have a full plate. I want to help you go from full plates to fully focused. Now, the program hasn't launched yet. It's invite only, but if you want to be invited, make sure that you are on my list, specifically my weekly web class list, and you can sign up to the list absolutely free over at sistersense.com/WWC, which stands for Weekly Web Classes. Okay, I'm going to be sharing that very soon so that women who are interested can join me. Initially, I said I'm only going to do this the first cycle of the challenge, the productivity program Focus Forward. I said I'm only going to do it for 5 ladies, but I said, you know what? I want whoever feels like this is something that they need to be able to participate in number one. And number two, I don't want it to be something where it's like, you can sign up for $9.97. I was like, listen, I'm going to do this 5 days, $5 a day. I don't want nobody to have no kind of excuses as to why they can't be in this program. So it's probably more than likely going to be $25 for the 5 days. I am going to be sending out the invitation when it launches, which is going to be in a couple of days because it's already ready. I just have too many things going on, and I want to be able to share that with you. So if you would like to get the invitation, make sure that you go to sistersense.com/WWC, or you can just simply email me, sistersense@gmail.com, and say, LaShanda, I really want to work on fixing my fixations, fixing my focus, getting in a space where I'm moving forward in my business. Please let me know when you've got the Forward Focus productivity program online. I would love to learn more about it. Okay, so I will definitely let you guys know about that once it becomes available. So here's what I want to do, because I don't get to see all of your comments on here. I definitely want to be able to take a look on my computer, on my phone, to see what you guys are saying to me. But I love the Pretty Ugly poem. I love how genius it is. I love how it offers us an opportunity for us to identify those pieces of us that feel pretty ugly, those pieces of us that are fixated on perfectionism, and how we can use this positive poem to rise up when we feel like either ourselves or other people are trying to break us down. So I'm going to read the Pretty Ugly poem to you one more time. For those of you who are just joining me right now, feel free to share this out or tag. But as I'm reading this poem, I want you to really think about things in your life that you're fixating on in negative ways that are causing you to stop, that are causing you to not do what you want to do, that are causing you to procrastinate, that are causing you to doubt yourself, that are causing you to overspend because you're looking for tools or people or programs to do what you can do for yourself. You just don't have enough confidence in you to do those things. You need to fix your fixations. So what are you guys fixating on? What are the negative things that are really eating at you, causing yourself to hold yourself back, to be afraid, to not feel like you can do the things that you want to do because you don't feel as qualified or as pretty or as perfect as you think you need to be? Okay, so as you think about that, reflect on that, feel free to drop into the comment box. Let me know what kind of fixations you need to start to fix. And then as we're doing this process, for those of you who are just coming in, I'm going to read the Pretty Ugly poem to you once again. I don't know if you can see it because the glow up is seriously real, but you can't see it. You can't see it. It's all right. I'll see if I can maybe I can post this graphic. I think I'll post the graphic if I can of this particular poem in the feed of the conversation we're having right now in a bit, okay? So listen up, y'all. This is the Pretty Ugly poem by, again, Abdullah the poet. You can Google it, but I will also post it inside of this Facebook Live once it's done. Pretty ugly. I'm very ugly. So don't try to convince me that I'm I'm gonna say this again because I keep messing it up. I'm pretty ugly. So don't try to convince me that I am a very beautiful person, because at the end of the day, I hate myself in every single way. And I'm not going to lie to myself by saying there is beauty inside of me that matters. So rest assured, I will remind myself that I am a worthless, terrible person. And nothing you say will make me believe I still deserve love, because no matter what, I am not good enough to be loved. And I am in no position to believe that beauty does exist within me, because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think, am I as ugly as people say? Now, read that same poem, bottom up. Am I as ugly as people say? Because whenever I look in the mirror, I always think beauty does exist within me. And I am in no position to believe that I am not good enough to be loved, because no matter what, I still deserve love. And nothing you say will ever make me believe that I am worthless, that I'm a terrible person. So rest assured, I will remind myself there is beauty inside of me that matters. And I am not going to lie to myself by saying I hate myself in every single way, because at the end of the day, I am a very beautiful person. So don't try to convince me that I am very ugly. It's not about what you see, y'all. It's about how you see it. And I love this poem. You read it one way, you read it back up again, and you are about to see all the beauty that lies within you. It helps me to see the beauty that's in me. Sometimes you need something that you can pour back into yourself. A little bit of positivity. And the Pretty Ugly poem by the poet Abdullah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, y'all. I'll post it into the Facebook Live so that you guys can see it, read it, and have it pour some beauty back into you in just a minute. So make sure that you share this session out, because, of course, sharing is caring. This is one of those late night lives that, again, I talk about money, marketing, and sales a lot. Right now, my goal to you is talk to you about motivation, because if you're not self-motivated to do this stuff, any little thing is going to break you. If you're not self-motivated to consistently, proactively build on your business, any little thing is going to shake you. So we need to make sure that you work on making you your best you, right? So that motivation is key. Those mindset shifts are key. And, having these moments, for me, I could be Netflix and chilling. Me and Prin could be eating Oreos in the bed right now. Eating Oreos in bed right now, but I wanted to jump on here and share this with you, because this is the kind of conversation that I love having with you, these motivational moments. So I love this. So Musu says, I am self-motivated. Good. Rhonda says, superpowers, creativity, designing, finding solutions, foresight, empathy. Ooh. Listen, come on now. When you got that empath in you, there's nothing you can do. We feel things like nobody else can feel things. And sometimes people say the people who are, overly feeling, they want to call us names, crybabies. You too sensitive. Why you always up in your feelings? They hurt us. They hurt me as a child, right? Why are you so sensitive? Why are you always crying? I used to have, people say things about me. And one of the things that would trigger me is when my mother would say, oh, that's just LaShanda. And I'm like, why won't you defend me? That's not just me. It took 30-something years for me to understand that I'm an empath and we feel things differently, right? But what are your superpowers? Whether you're watching live or watching the replay, think about that and drop them in here. Share what those things are for you, right? Create an unruffled look when I feel ruffled up. Absolutely. You got to shake it off. Katoya says, superpowers. I can see the good in others, and I can see the possibilities. I can see where they need to be there needs to be representation, more diversity. I can also come up with loads of ideas that others can try. Come on now. Come on. That's beauty. There's so much beauty in that. So being able to identify and share your superpowers, that's something that I want you to do. Number one. Number two, one of my goals, in addition to sharing with you guys my money, my marketing, my sales strategies, is to help you fix your focus. So if you feel like you've got a full plate, you're overwhelmed, you're behind, you're not quite where you want to be, I definitely want you to be one of the ladies who help be a part of this mission of mine, which is to help more people get more done. So I'm going to be sharing the Focus Forward 5-day. It's going to be the 5-5-5 method, y'all. 5 days. I'm going to work on you. Give me 1 hour a day. So that's 5 hours. I'm going to work on you so I can share some of these 5-minute processes and strategies so that in that process, you can work on your focus and moving forward. Work on going from full plate to fully focused. And those of you who are entrepreneurs, even fully profitable, right? Because you're learning how to create the kind of processes you need to get more done. Okay, so check in with me, email sistersense@gmail.com if you want to learn more about the Full Focus 5-day program, the productivity program when it becomes available. Number one, and of course, number two, you are welcome to go to sistersense.com/WWC, where you can sign up for my weekly web class series, because the weekly web class folks definitely are going to get an invitation to Focus Forward when it drops. All right. So if you are watching me on the replay side, don't forget to drop into the comment box, #replays rock. That's it for me tonight, y'all. Stick a fork in me. I am done. But I'll definitely come back on here and make sure I post a graphic of that pretty ugly poem in here for those who want to read it and save it for future reference. If there's anything else that you would like me to talk about when I jump on and do these lives, feel free to ask me questions, post them here or send them to me. But of course, I always have some good for you guys too. So I will be jumping back on here with another live for you. So if you want to get your Good Morning Girl Boss journal, let me turn off the ring light for a second. If you want to get the printed Good Morning Girl Boss journal, you see right here, and you want to be able to go and read all of the motivational messages that I've put in here for you, and you want to be able to write in the journal space, you can order your journal over at sistersense.com/GMGB, which stands for Good Morning Girl Boss. Okay, so that's the last thing that I want to say, because I want to make sure that for those of you who would like to get the Good Morning Girl Boss journal, you can get access to it over at sistersense.com/GMGB. All right, so that's officially it. That's officially it for tonight. Mwah. Bye, guys. Till next time, take care.